We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it The People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.
Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Donald Trump survives assassination by 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks at a campaign rally. As Spain celebrates fourth successive Euro Cup victory, Nigerian music executive Soso Soberinko laments his loss of $10,000 bet to singer Zlatan. After 20 years of intercessory prayers and fasting, singer of I Pledge Allegiance to the Lamb, Ray Boltz, remains gay. I am Florence Joshua with these and more. Clearview News Desk has joined the progressive voices in and outside Nigeria to hail the judgment that clearly spells out that it was unconstitutional for state governors to control funds meant for local governments. We, however, feel the judgment would remain ineffective if state governors continue to control the state electoral machinery. In our opinion, if state governors are allowed to manipulate local government elections, thereby installing their own, the Supreme Court judgment would remain ineffective. However, this broadcast outfit facilitates with the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Algon, which has been having sleepless nights over the stifling of local government operations by the state governors. We believe that after this ruling, all other things would be falling in place.
Friday, July 12, 2024 will go down in history in Nigeria. It was the day the Supreme Court granted local government financial autonomy in a landmark ruling. The judgment came as a welcome development to many interest groups, most especially the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Algon, a body that has been at the forefront in the agitation for local government. Algon, in its campaign, embarked on many projects, including a weekly half-hour program packaged by Clearview News Desk for broadcast on Africa Independent Television, AIT. We are pleased to bring you excerpts from the 2021 program, which paraded the former national president, Kolade Alabi, and the then chief of staff to the president, Malik Ikpokpo, who is now Algon's director general. Others are Mefata Mwazu, George Akume, Femi Gbajabiamila, among others.
We all have faults, all of us here. If we keep talking every time, we will not get any result. It's getting worse. They are getting more emboldened. They are now very bold and they are ready to face anybody because they are hungry and they are angry. Let us change our strategy. Let us change our style. You leave this age bracket. If there will be a problem, you will give them guns to start to move around. You will never see anybody above our age in our comfort zone here that is really ready to face the music.
Government should be administered from the local government. If the foundation is rot, then there will be a problem. So we have to make the foundation right. In making the foundation right, more power should be given to the local government.
Algon generally, the purpose is to aggregate the actions and inactions of our colleagues across the country in areas of national development, ranging from healthcare to agriculture, social services, infrastructure, and all of that. And what we do here is to aggregate these needs and see how best we can tackle them. Over the years, what you find out that most local governments are disconnected from programs of their states and programs of the federal government. As I speak to you today, he's the first president of Algon that has been connected to almost all programs of the federal government, and has advised all his NEC members who, by their position, you cannot be a NEC member if you are not chairman of Algon in your state, because all chairmen cannot come here. The procedure is simple. The states, based on their peculiar circumstance, elect a chairman amongst them. It is that person that is elected that becomes a member of NEC. And he has continued to encourage them that there is need for them to connect properly, open their ears to programs, to projects of their state so that they can tap and key. For instance, there are not very many local governments that have the capacity to do programs on welfare and empowerment. So that is the area where he has tried to ensure that there's more synergy. We have tried to refocus the office to also be more oriented. And you know, without being economical with the truth, that we have had challenges in the past with the way Algon has handled its affairs, particularly its financial affairs. A lot of our colleagues across the country are not happy that we are centrally, or Algon was centrally awarding contracts. And one of the first policies of his administration was to say, no, we are not a contract awarding establishment. We can handle consultants to the extent that they bring in valued partners. We're looking at DFID and all of that. Partners who will help in capacity building, infrastructural development. And so that is the area we're looking at, not awarding contracts to do A or do B or do C, no.
We all know His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has one thing always in mind, that is to bring SOCO to the people at the grassroots. As such, Algon decided to key into this mindset of finding SOCO to the people at the grassroots. That is why the issue of finding a way to do away with multiple taxations along the way, and then finding a way to bring SOCO in case of accident to the people in distress.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, George Akume, was at that time the Nigeria's Minister for Special Duties, while Femi Gbajabiamila, Chief of Staff to the Nigerian President, was then Speaker, House of Representatives.
It is therefore apposite to state that the federal government is in full support of the two projects known as the National Anti-Multiple Taxation Scheme, NAM Tax, and the National Transit Insurance Scheme, NATIS, which have been established by Nigerian local governments and area council and are being coordinated by Association of Local Governments of Nigeria National Headquarters and her partners.
The local government administrations in Nigeria are the closest to the people. They should be responsible for making decisions and providing services that ensure the quality of life for the Nigerian people. Until we fix local government administration in Nigeria, we will not be able to fully deliver on the promise of democratic governance in a way that allows us to achieve our country's full potential. I assure you also that we are ready to work with the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Algon, and with all the stakeholders to fix local government administration in Nigeria once and for all time.
Clearview News Desk congratulates Algon for this success as remain its dependable ally. Imefon Okon reporting for Clearview News.
Former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has expressed concerns over the Supreme Court's verdict granting financial autonomy to the 744 local government areas in Nigeria. Speaking during an interview, Fayose said, even though he does not subscribe to state governors taking funds meant for local governments, it is difficult to separate the two tiers of government. Fayose, who described himself as a politician and an elder statesman, and not a lawyer, emphasized the interconnections between the state and local governments, citing their connection as that of a mother and child. There is nobody that can become a council chairman without a governor. Anybody telling you otherwise is wasting their time. But when you now come and say we are giving power to the local government, what power are you giving to them? No power. The ex-governor also criticized the lack of effective administrative performances in local government, citing the absence of staff from their offices. On Saturday, July 13, former U.S. President Donald Trump, the Republican Party's presumptive nominee in the 2024 presidential election, was shot in the upper part of his right ear at the campaign rally near Butler, Pennsylvania. Trump was speaking to the audience when he was shot by 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Crooks fired 8 rounds from an AR-15 style rifle from the rooftop of a nearby building outside the rally venue, killing 1 spectator and critically injuring 2 persons. As the investigation into the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump intensifies, Clearview presents this report on all you need to know about the shocking encounter.
On July 13, 2024, the world was shocked by footages of an assassination attempt on former U.S. President Donald Trump, the Republican Party's presumptive nominee in the 2024 presidential election, at his campaign rally. The 78-year-old was shot in the upper part of his right ear at a campaign rally near Butler, Pennsylvania, while he was speaking to the audience by 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Crooks fired 8 rounds of an AR-15 style rifle from the roof of a nearby building outside the rally venue, killing 1 spectator and injuring 2 others.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
After being shot, Clearview News Desk gathered that Trump ducked for cover and was surrounded by Secret Service personnel before being helped to his feet by Secret Service with blood visible on his right ear and cheek. He pumped his fist in the air and shouted, "Fight, fight, fight," before being escorted to his motorcade and taken to a hospital. He was released a few hours later in stable condition. The shooting is being investigated as an attempted assassination and as a potential domestic terrorist act. Experts consider the shooting a sign of political polarization in the United States, and political figures called for a decrease in tension. The shooting occurred 2 days before the July 15 start of the 2024 Republican National Convention in Wisconsin. This was the second attempt at violence towards Trump during one of his rallies. The first was in 2016 when a man attempted to disarm a security officer at a rally in Las Vegas. According to reports, Trump arrived on stage at the rally at about 6:03 p.m. and barely few minutes into his speech, Thomas Matthew Crooks fired 8 shots into the rally venue from an AR-15 style rifle chambered in 5.56 millimeters. Crooks had not undergone security screening as he was outside the rally's security perimeter. He had climbed onto the roof of a building around 400 feet north of Trump. Reports indicated that a witness had observed a man carrying a rifle on the rooftop and alerted the police about him minutes before the shots were fired at Trump. A Butler Township police officer climbed to the roof, hoisted by another officer, and encountered Crooks. Crooks spotted the officer while the officer's hands were clinging to the edge of the roof and aimed his rifle at him, forcing him to retreat. Crooks began firing immediately after the confrontation with the officer. Crooks shot Trump and at least 3 rally-goers before being killed by a sniper from the United States Secret Service counter-assault team seconds later. One rally attendee, 50-year-old Corey Campator, was killed and 2 others critically injured. On July 14, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour's drive from the rally venue. Crooks attended Bethel Park High School and graduated in 2022 with no criminal record. Crooks worked as a dietary aide in the kitchen of a nearby nursing home. Some people who knew him characterized him as quiet, and a former classmate said he had been bullied every day at school. Crooks was a member of the Clayton Sportsman Club, which has a 200-yard rifle range. He graduated with an associate degree from the Community College of Allegheny County 2 months ago, the statement added. Law enforcement officials recovered an AR-15 type semi-automatic rifle from Mr. Crooks' body. The FBI said the weapon was legally purchased by the shooter's father, but it was unclear on Sunday how the shooter gained possession of the firearm. Among the gunman's possessions, the authorities also discovered a rudimentary explosive device which was sent to the FBI's lab along with his phone and gun. Law enforcement officials are investigating a motive in the attack and said that as of Sunday, there was nothing to indicate the shooter had mental health issues, and he so far has not been tied to any specific ideology. He is believed to have acted alone, officials said. Police removed Crooks' corpse from the rooftop. He was carrying no identification. The FBI confirmed the shooter's identity via fingerprint biometrics and DNA profiling. Explosives were found in the car Crooks used to travel to the rally and at his home. Political scientists, historians, and many Democratic and Republican political figures pointed to the shooting as a consequence of political polarization in the United States. It led to widespread sympathy for Trump on social media, and public figures across the political spectrum, both domestically and internationally, urged a decrease in tensions, condemning the assassination attempt. After the shooting, President Joe Biden ordered an independent security review of Trump's rally and warned against political violence in an Oval Office address.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this.
As the investigation into the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump intensifies, the U.S. Secret Service has come under scrutiny as questions mounted on how the alleged gunman managed to fire a barrage of shots from a rooftop with a vantage point of the outdoor Pennsylvania rally stage Trump was speaking from, further raising questions about security preparations and potential failures in the build-up to the elections. The assassination attempt on Trump came 43 years after Ronald Reagan was shot.
Kenyan police on Monday said they have arrested a serial killer, suspect who had confessed to murdering 42 women before dumping their dismembered bodies in a Nairobi rubbish tip. Since Friday, a total of 9 mutilated and dismembered bodies trussed in plastic bags have been pulled from the garbage site in the Mukuru slum area of the capital, a gruesome discovery that has horrified the nation. Acting Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja said the 33-year-old prime suspect named Collins Jumaisi Kalusha was arrested near a bar this Monday. "We are dealing with a serial killer who has no respect for human life," The head of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, Mohammed Amin, said he told reporters the arrest came after a joint operation by the DCI and the National Police Service. The suspect also confessed to having lured, killed, and disposed of 42 female bodies at the dumping site. Amin said, adding that Kalusha claimed the murders took place between 2022 and July 11 this year. The suspect alleged that his first victim was his wife, who he strangled to death before dismembering her body and disposing of it at the same site. He said, meanwhile, the police have said bodies recovered so far were all female bodies. Ami also told reporters that they had arrested a second suspect who was caught with one of the headsets from one of the victims. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Clever News Desk. We will be back after this break. Stay with us. In every success story, you will find someone who has made a courageous decision. Welcome back. Nigerian music executive Soso Soberenkon has lost a $10,000 bet to singer Zlatan Ibrahimovic after Spain beat England in the UEFA Euro 2024 final on Sunday night. Soberenkon and Zlatan were captured betting $10,000 each in favor of England and Spain, respectively, in a video earlier shared on the singer's Instagram page. However, Zlatan won the bet as Spain defeated England 2-1 to win a record fourth UEFA Euro title. Spain were in front 2 minutes into the second half as England substitute Cole Palmer equalized it in the 73rd minute. But an 86-minute goal from Mikel gave Spain a deserved victory. Following the outcome of the game, Soberenkon took to his Instagram story to share a crying emoji. In a shocking revelation, popular gospel singer Boltz publicly declared his homosexuality on September 14, 2008, sending shockwaves throughout the Christian community. Boltz's announcement sparked intense debate and prayer among Christians, with many calling for God's redemption and restoration. The news also has resurrected memories of his iconic performances, including a memorable rendition of one of his hit songs at the Foursquare Gospel Church in Asokoro.
I pledge allegiance to the Lamb with all my strength, with all I am. I will seek to honor His command. I pledge allegiance to
I Pledge Allegiance to the Lamb is one of the most inspirational songs of our time. However, the news of the composer Ray Boltz becoming gay 20 years ago shocked the world, mostly the Christendom. Ray thereafter left his family to move in with his gay partner. A special rendition of the song by the choir of Foursquare Gospel Church, Asokoro, Abuja, brought about the story again.
To count the cost.
The same struggle that gay people have today is that they love one another. They don't want to cause trouble. They don't want to change what anybody, how they pray or what you do in church. They just want to love one another and they want to live together and be one. And so the song that I wrote says, don't tell me who to love. Don't tell me who to kiss. Don't tell me that there's something wrong because I feel like this. See, I always used to feel like there was something wrong. But don't tell me that there's something wrong because I feel like this. I know what's in my heart, and that should be enough.
Ray Boltz, fortunately or unfortunately, is gay. During the course of his more than 30-year career in the contemporary Christian music industry, Boltz released nearly 20 albums, acquired 3 Dove Awards, 2 gold albums, 1 gold video, 12 number 1 singles, and sold more than 4 million units of products.
Don't tell me who to love. Don't tell me who to kiss. Don't tell me that there's something wrong, 'cause I feel like this. I know what's in my heart, and that should be enough. So don't tell me no. Don't tell me who to love.
A multi-million-naira palm kernel oil extracting industry in the Umpai area of Abakaleke, the capital of Ebonyi State, has been gutted by fire. The fire destroyed palm kernels worth over 170 million naira, refined and unrefined oil, and a Sienna bus. The executive director of the industry, Emmanuel Alinchi, told journalists that he noticed the fire and smoke around 1:17 a.m. However, the entire structure had been engulfed by the time the fire service arrived. He appealed to the state government for intervention, emphasizing that all the extracting machines in the industry were destroyed by the fire. Meanwhile, a relative of the victim, Hilary Alinchi, said the cause of the fire incident is yet to be ascertained, as it happened in the night, adding that the fire would have been spread to other private buildings in the area, but for the resilience of the firefighters who saved the situation. He said about 50 workers had lost their job as a result of the inferno, and appealed to Governor Francis to evoke the spirit of People's Charter of Needs to resuscitate the industry. And that's the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. Former U.S. President Donald Trump was shot in the upper part of his right ear while speaking to an audience by 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, at campaign rally near Butler, Pennsylvania. Nigerian music executive Soso Soberenkong has lost a $10,000 bet to singer Zlatan after Spain beat England in the UEFA Europe 2024 final on Sunday night. Soberenkong and Zlatan were captured betting $10,000 each in favor of England and Spain in a video shared on the singer's Instagram handle. Popular gospel singer Boltz publicly declared his homosexuality on September 14, 2008, sending shockwaves throughout the Christian community. His announcement has since sparked intense debate and prayer among Christians, with many calling for God's redemption and restoration. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Florence Joshua. Bye for now.